Proud Mary. This is not one that I saw. This is
No.
one that you saw today.
I saw it today, a few hours ago, actually. And yeah, new Taraji P. Henson movie. It was Screen Gems made it. It fills in that slot that would usually be filled by a Resident Evil or Underworld movie. Female-driven action movie.
Right.
And in the plot line of this scenario is she plays Mary. She's a member of a crime family that runs a member of a crime family that runs a certain section of the Boston Underground, but she actually trying to find a way out. And then on one of her assignments, she kills a bookie, but then finds the bookie's son in another room, and then feels guilty about it. And then like a year later, you find that she's been following the boy, even though he's been like a drug runner for one of her family's rivals, as it were. And she winds up finding the boy unconscious in the alley, taking her home, going back to his employer, and winds up killing him in the room. So that creates so then this family believes it was that family believes it was an orchestrated hit by her family. So that it kind of creates like a territory war in Boston.
Right.
Her actions. So she's balancing the act of hiding this kid from them, hiding the fact that she created this territory war, and then playing all sides against each other, and still trying to find a way out and all that. That sounds like it's an interesting movie, doesn't it?
Right.
Too bad they didn't execute any of that very well.
Oh man.
It was very pedestrian.
Really?
Like you can like watch the movie and go, the movie's only 88 minutes long.
Right.
And usually that includes credits.
Yeah.
So it's short. It's short and very lean movie. There's really almost half the scenes in the movie are established by a car pulling up.
Oh my god. That's
really? How they establish the scene in the movie. Like it's either her car, one of the crime family's cars. Every time they go somewhere new, they always have a city shot, car shot, pull up, and that's how all the scenes are established. For this to be an action movie, there really wasn't much action either. There was like maybe 2 shootouts. There was one kind of towards the beginning, a quick one near the beginning, and there's the big one at the end. But that was about it.
Man. And looking at the cast in this movie, not a lot of recognizable people except for Taraji P. Henson and maybe Neil McDonough. I know plays a lot of.
And Danny Glover's in this movie too.
Is he?
Yeah.
Oh, there he is. Okay,
he played his role. He did what Danny Glover does.
Yeah.
He shows up, plays his role well, and then that's it. He played like her. As you watch the movie, it's revealed that she's not quite like in the family. She was more in the same case as the kid she found, where they found her, they took her in, and then like she works for them, but he treated her like a daughter of sorts. But now that she wants out, he makes it clear that I own you, kind of thing. So then you can obviously know what happens there. It's like I said, you can watch this movie. You can watch the first few minutes in the movie. Watch the pieces get put in place, and you realize and you can figure out how this movie ends pretty early.
Yeah.
And so then, as you're sitting there watching it, and you go, "Yep, I predicted that. Yep, I predicted that. Oh, it's this scene in the movie where Mary gets hurt, and then the kid feels he has to protect her now. That scene comes up, and then they do the whole dramatic reveal of she's not who she says she is, kind of thing, and then it's like."
So this was directed by Babak Najafi, who's he's directed a lot of foreign films, but his most recent film is London Has Fallen. London Has Fallen, the absolute terrible sequel to Olympus Has Fallen, which is actually a fairly good movie.
But that was Antoine Fuqua, wasn't it?
Yeah, Antoine Fuqua did the first one.
Yeah, that's and it's very clear that there's a difference. There's a difference.
So, can you see that directing style in this film?
And it was less racist.
Oh, okay. Okay. That's a good one.
Yeah, it was less racist than London Has Fallen. It was everybody who got got killed because of who they were as people, not just because of other reasons.
Yeah. That's fair enough.
Yeah, but it was very bland, pedestrian. Running your. It almost felt like where John Wick had a very basic premise. They built a world around the premise, so like after a while, you stop caring about the motivation. You just wanted to see more of this world. Proud Mary didn't do any of that.
Right.
It was just basically you buy the books. Hitman kills target. Hitman finds out target has child. Hitman feels regret. Hitman takes in child. A child becomes the quote unquote son/daughter they never had.
Right.
And now they both are fighting to find a way out of the world they put themselves in. And then that's the story. If you've seen one, you've seen Proud. If you've seen one movie like that, you've seen Proud Mary.
Okay.
And it didn't I will say this: Taraji P. Henson did play her role very well as Mary.
Oh yeah.
She added the amount of drama and
Grit.
and drama, grit, and everything you needed for a character like Mary. She just wasn't given anything other than that to work with. The story could have been a little better. Could have had a little more style to it. It was very like it even was presented blandly. Like the opening credits was like the only style the movie had. Everything else was just you buy the books, establishing shot. There was no clever camera angles or nothing to play with. It was just all basic.
Yeah.
So there's really nothing there. And then when they do decide to actually play the title song, Proud Mary, it's in a very random, weird, and undeserved place.
Oh man. Okay.
Yes, it was. I wouldn't say it was like a. Would I put it in my worst of the year list of 2018? No. But would I go back and watch it again? No.
Okay.
So it's right in the middle of the road. 5 out of 10.
I was gonna just ask you what was your rating. So 5 out of 10.
Yeah, it's very by the books, and if you do things by the books but give it its own style, it could work.
Okay.
But they didn't do that here.
Yeah. Okay, so a formulaic action film.
Very formulaic. It was like reading the instructions on. Like he went to the grocery store and bought generic action movie cereal, and generic grocery store action movie, and just read the directions on how to make one, and just followed it beat for beat, and then that's all you did. No accoutrements or nothing.
Okay. All right. So 5 out of 10. Mm-hmm. Proud Mary, guys. If you have seen Proud Mary, let us know what you thought about it. If you have not seen Proud Mary and you just saw this review, do you still want to go see Proud Mary? And if so, let us know. Leave us some comments, guys. Mm-hmm. All right. So we're going to move on to our next review.